Shawna Lea was this Shawna Lea. That was all you can say. I mean, no matter what, where, or when, Shawna Lea was Shawna Lea. Just a beautiful lady. Always, always.
She was just a great influence. She was the epitome of a lovely lady and how you should live your life.
She always went out of her way to help someone, and seemingly there was nothing that she could not do. You know, she was always positive, and that is the thing that brings those wonderful memories about Shawna Lea.
Her personality made her special. Her obvious kindness made her special. And you didn't have to be around Shawna Lea but just a very short time to realize that she was a very, very loving, caring person. And we need more like her.
Well, thank you all for coming and welcome to Owls Hills Nature Sanctuary. We're fortunate with the weather today. I suspect Shawna Lea had something to do about that. We know that some of you have come a long way, and for many it is your first time at Owls Hill. We trust it will not be your last. We are here, of course, to remember and celebrate a very special person, Shawna Lea Hickerson Smith. All of us at Owls Hill feel so honored and indeed humbled that Charles chose this nature sanctuary to be the place of this wonderful memorial to Shawna Lea. Her history here and close connection to Owls Hill makes this site very apropos. But still, Charles and his family could have chosen any number of places to celebrate Shawna Lea. So we wish again to express our most heartfelt gratitude to Charles and his family. Regretfully, most of us here at Owls Hill, myself included, did not have the privilege of knowing Shawna Lea in person. However, as we have welcomed Charles back home, so to speak, we feel as if we have come to know her through him and the wonderful stories he has shared with us. It is not difficult to appreciate how special a person Shawna Lea was, and that she touched so many lives in such a positive way. Which is why it feels very natural that Shawna Lea and her legacy be forever linked to Owls Hill with the dedication today of the beautiful memorial trail and garden which sits nestled just above us, and within sight of the place she and her family lovingly called home for several years. Owls Hill and all of its 160 acres of natural splendor is a more special place today because of this memorial, and we much appreciate Charles, his family, and his many dear friends who helped make this a reality. Thank you again for letting us share this tribute to Shawna Lea with you all. And now I will turn it over to our Executive Director, Margaret Cameron, who will tell you more about the trail and the garden and the new addition to the building which is underway. Thank you.
Well, I also want to say thank you. This project means so much to Owls Hill. I was supposed to tell the impact. The impact is yet to be known, as Kristen back there said. But here is our thinking in doing this. This coming Friday, we will be visited by the Ravenwood Special Ed class. They started coming out here a few years ago. So some of these children are mentally challenged and some of them are physically challenged. So sometimes when they come out here, the only place that they are able to be is on the pavement up here between our buildings. And I wanted something more. We've had a preschool class come out here and we drug them in wagons up here, but we couldn't do anything else with them. We have 10 miles of trails, but they're not for people with disabilities as far as walking. We also have more and more senior groups that come out here to have an OWL program. So I wanted some place for them to go in nature. I also wanted a classroom with a little bit more climate control. As you can see, we don't have much out here right now. And so that's what this is for. So when you go up there and take a look at this place, it's not finished. On Monday, they start to wire it electrically. And then we still, when you see the platform, it will still have backs to the benches, so the backs aren't there yet. But we've come a long way, and probably in a month or more, we will be finished. And also when you go up there, one of the things that Dr. Smith has always talked about is how much Shawna Lea liked daffodils. Now, the garden, for the most part, is going to feature native plants because we're trying to teach people the importance of using native plants in their garden. And we're trying really hard out here to get rid of invasive plants. And we have goats up on top of the hill right now munching away on our honeysuckle. But daffodils do not fall into the invasive category. So when you look up there, but at a right angle between the new classroom and the deck, you'll see a large hackberry. And around that, you'll see the remains of flowers that just finished blooming. Well, about February, we will cut that down, and underneath we have 650 bulbs planted. So hopefully some came up. We had a pretty good spring last spring. We planted them in February last year. So I'm hoping for a good turnout, and hopefully in the next few years we will add some more as this has finished. So we're so glad you're here today, and I hope you enjoy yourself, and check us out for other programs we have. And you know, come check out this place again and see how it's going and what we're able to do with it. And once again, I just want to thank you very much for donating to this project. It means a lot to Owls Hill. So thank you.
A little bit of an obstacle course to get up here. Well, good afternoon to all of you. I want to say at the outset to Norm and to Margaret, other board members and staff at Owls Hill, how much my family and I appreciate the support that you've given us over the past several months. And this is a work in progress that we are really proud of. So I want to make a few remarks. I told someone earlier today that I have typically in the past, Roy, rehearsed a speech maybe twice if I had time. This one has been done more than 20 times simply because I'm trying to get through the emotion of it. So I hope this is one of those 3 moments or tries that I make it through it, but I'll do my best. Let me put my eyes on. 40 years ago, this past April, my family and I moved into the house on the hill overlooking where we are today. For 1,651 wonderful days, we enjoyed all that this dramatic piece of God's country has to offer. Hundreds of hours were spent sitting on the balcony outside our living room looking out over these 150 acres of pure beauty and fascination. For Chip, Tandy, Shawna Lea, and me, Owls Hill was much more than just a home. It was then in meaning just what it has actually become today in reality, a sanctuary to be loved, enjoyed, cherished, and preserved. And as much as Chip and Tandy and I enjoyed Owls Hill, Shawna Lea enjoyed it even more. To her, this was always paradise on earth. She spent much of her childhood living in state parks where her father was superintendent. She quickly became a nature lover second to none. Shawna Lea always viewed her Owls Hill years as the most productive and enjoyable years of her life. She was totally energized by the opportunities Owls Hill presented on a daily basis. Daffodil meadows and other projects were developed. Tours were conducted. Hundreds of dinners for large groups were planned and hosted. Seminars were held. And at the same time, Shawna Lea hiked the trails and carved new ones. With the family, she rode go-karts, ponies, snow sleds, golf carts, and bicycles into every nook and cranny of Owls Hill. She was also served as house mother to literally scores of classmates of Chip and Tandy on long weekends. She was a second mother to a young Katrina who lived with her father in what is now headquarters for the sanctuary. And Katrina is here with us today. Katrina, hold up your hand. Over here on my right. So in short, Shawna Lea was the perfect First Lady of the University of Tennessee at Nashville. One of the local guests. Oh, okay. I'm glad it didn't get to my nose. In short, she was the perfect First Lady of the University of Tennessee, Nashville, and she enjoyed every minute in fulfilling that role. So today we celebrate her life and pay tribute to her lifelong commitment to helping others achieve a better life. To paraphrase a quote from JFK's inaugural address, the signature mission of her life was simply, ask not what others can do for you, but what can you do for others. That's who she was. That's what she believed. That's what she practiced. That will and should be her greatest legacy. It's a legacy that is symbolized by the Owls Hill improvements being dedicated here today. This is obviously a bittersweet moment for our family. We miss her every minute of every day. And it's a moment that brings to mind something Vice President Joe Biden, who knows personally enormous grief, said this past May in a speech to military families that had lost loved ones in battle. He said, and I quote, "There will come a day, I promise you, when the thought of your husband or wife brings a smile to your lips before it brings a tear to your eye." He went on to say, "It will happen, my friends. My prayer for you is that day will come sooner rather than later. But I'm telling you, it will come." Well, friends of Shawna Lea, this may be that moment for all of us. Let's hope that this dedication event brings a smile to our lips before it brings a tear to our eyes. I know that is what Shawna Lea would want. In closing, I want to say with emphasis that my family and I are deeply grateful to the donors who have obviously made this memorial project campaign a success. I'd love to be able to take the time to call the roll and go out and hug every one of you, but please know in my heart, I appreciate you. It's especially gratifying that every one of the more than 100 donations have come directly from Shawna Lea's friends and relatives from 14 states: Iowa, Maryland, Missouri, New York, Kansas, Texas, Delaware, North Carolina, South Carolina, California, Louisiana, Kentucky, Michigan, and Tennessee, along with the District of Columbia and London. The donor list includes beloved high school and college classmates, treasured extended family, respected friends from our years of service at UT Knoxville, UT Nashville, UT Martin, the Tennessee Board of Regents, Governor McWhorter's cabinet, DC federal government, and ACT testing company. The list includes 18 current or former college presidents, 3 former Tennessee governors, and a United States ambassador. Words are inadequate to express the degree to which my family and I appreciate this impressive show of love and respect for Shawna Lea. May God bless each and every one of you. Thank you very much. Thank you. At this time, granddaughter Nicole is coming for a special presentation.
Well, I'm honored to read a poem that was written by one of my grandmother's friends, Joan Atwater. In 1944, in a place close by the sea, a beautiful baby girl was born by the name of Shawna Lea. The baby grew into a girl so fair of face to see, with shining eyes so filled with life and hair of ebony. This girl became a woman, a beauty to behold, whose heart was filled with compassion and kindness love untold. Her deeds of service were many, but she sought no self-acclaim. With dignity and caring, she treated all the same. She was content to be herself, whether with nobility or simply working in the soil or with her family. The life she touched, no one can tell the number or the ways, but the evidence is here to see each and every day. For now she dwells in heaven in a lea of daffodils, beside a gentle babbling brook, perfection of Owl's Hill. With patient hands and loving heart, she tends the garden fair. She's making preparation for when loved ones join her there. Our lives have been made sweeter because of her, you see. She made us better people, our beautiful Shawna Lea. Sweet, wonderful Shawna Lea.
One of the great pleasures of living and working on a college campus is the opportunity to meet and interact with faculty. Over the years, Shawna Lea and I met literally hundreds of outstanding faculty members, people with strong intellects, special skills, charming personalities, and unique abilities to bring out the best in students. Today, I want to recognize and pay tribute to one of those individuals, someone who is a special friend of our family, someone Shawna Lea truly loved and respected. John Kaiser is a gifted artist who served long and well as a beloved professor of art at UT Nashville. When Owl's Hill officials and I first talked about the projects we dedicate today, John was one of the first people I contacted for guidance and assistance. Within a day, a single day of that phone conversation, John drove here to look at the proposed site for the Memorial Nature Trail and Garden. That very day, he wrote a substantial check, our first donation, and expressed his interest in preparing an artistic rendering for our use in the campaign. In less than a week, we had the beautiful rendering that has served our initiative well from day one to this very day. It is reflected in the programs that you have in your hands today and provides a good look at the future of the trail and garden as work continues. John did what he said he would do, not once, not twice, but 3 times. He's a role model from Central Casting for others who care to follow his lead. John didn't stop with the rendering. A few months ago, he called one day and said he wanted to do a portrait of Shawna Lea. Today, we have that portrait. My grandsons Harris, Blake, Ben, and Brady are prepared at this time to unveil it for a first-time public view. Would the grandsons please come forward? Thank you very much, and let me join in recognizing and applauding Professor John Kaiser, a true friend and gifted artist. I offered him an opportunity to speak today, but he told me he would prefer to be seated and just enjoy the program. And John, we're going to let you do that. But I hope each of you will get a chance to speak to him personally and thank him for this beautiful piece of art.
But I must say it's an honor and privilege to have a share in anything. It's an honor, but I get a privilege.
Thank you, John. And this portrait will be placed in the classroom that will bear her name. That's a part of the project. And as we pay tribute to John, I also want to note that John and Dana Coleman worked closely and cooperatively on several promotional pieces used in the campaign. John's artistic skills and Dana's promotion and design expertise have been great assets throughout the campaign. They represent well the kind of professional teamwork you always need to make a project like this work. So again, John, my thanks to you. This will be a forever moment of pleasure in our minds, and we look forward to viewing it for many, many years to come. At this time, we come to the closing part of our program, and I'm going to call on my nephew, Scott Hickerson. I have to tell you that he was always one of Shawna Lea's favorites. I know she's smiling when she thinks about him coming to the podium at this time, but he's going to take us to the next step in the program today, and then after we move to a new location, Norm is going to make a few closing remarks. Scott, come on up. I'll try to protect you from the varmints wherever they may be.
One of the locals that was welcoming here. Y'all will have to forgive me. As a lawyer by trade, I don't typically have a microphone anywhere near me. But hopefully it won't be too distracting. But I do want to thank all of y'all for being here. It was a great honor to be invited to speak today. And when I arrived, Uncle Charles introduced me to several people and said that I was Shawna Lea's, and I call her Sissy, but Sissy's favorite nephew. And I was so happy, and then I realized that math, although it's not a strong suit, because like I said, I'm a lawyer, I did it real quick in my head and realized I was her only nephew. But I was born too late to be here when they were present in the residence up on the hill. My sister, I talked to her, she wasn't able to be here today, but she remembers Sissy talking about the daffodils that she had planted and her time here and how much she enjoyed it. And it's great to be here today to get to see it, to see some of the stuff that y'all will get to see here in a little bit. That is a work in progress, but with y'all's help, it is developing into something that I know she would be extremely happy with, and that we can all be proud of to have contributed to. And so again, I thank you for that. But Sissy was somebody that did love the outdoors, and though I wasn't here to see her on the ponies, on the go-karts, there was a go-kart at their house that I definitely had fun with. But to see the trails, it is something that I know that I will be able to bring my kids back to, one of which, and see if I can get through this, is named after her. But that's not why I was asked to talk. And so I'll try to swallow those emotions, because what my role is today is to introduce Chip and Tandy. And most of y'all know them. And they will be here, and for those willing and able to make it, just a short walk up past the owls, they will introduce and unveil the capstone of the outdoor garden and trail. It is a absolutely beautiful bronze plaque that sits on top of a base that is a little over, I believe, 3,000 pounds. And while it's not in the position that ultimately it will be in, hopefully y'all will understand where it will sit and why the front of the plaque introduces you to her and the trails and who she is and was as a person. But when you exit the trail, you will also see another beautiful etching in the back of the base that describes her being the person who she was, and who I will always remember, outside of that, who was willing to give probably the best back scratches ever, is somebody that always, no matter what the occasion was willing to listen to you, to make you feel at home, to make you feel comfortable, and to put a smile on your face. And so again, I thank y'all for being here. I thank the Hunts, Charlie and Joy, and Hunt Memorials, who was commissioned to do the plaque. It is fantastic, and again, for those that can make it, I hope that y'all will take the time to walk up so that Chip and Tandy can unveil that for us all. And again, apologize for it not being in the final location, but I think y'all will get a great understanding of where it's going to go and why it's there, and take great pride in it as well. So again, thank y'all for being here, and I'm going to turn it over to Chip and Tandy, who can lead us up to the final spot, Chip here on my left. So thank y'all again.
All right, just to once again say thanks on behalf of the family for just tremendous showing of folks on a beautiful day. And it's beautiful in so many ways because of all of you that are here. And like everyone's spoken so far, we can't express in words how much we appreciate your attendance today and what you meant to Mom and just the role you've played in our lives in various ways. So we sincerely appreciate it. What we're going to do is we're going to unveil the monument here that will ultimately be placed at the beginning of the trail as Scott described. And you will see the front side here will have some visual with the plaque, and then the back side as you come out of the trail will have another great artistic work that Charlie Hunt with Hunt Memorials did. And I don't think Joy and Charlie have come in. They were going to try to make it, but they did a fantastic job, and I think everybody will just be very, very pleased. I know we are, the family. So without further ado, I'd like to present to you the memorial monument in honor of my mom. Got a great plaque verbiage up here on top, and we're real proud of underneath her name it says a drum major for a better life for others. And Tish, I think you know well that John Jay really coined that about Mom, and it's fit her perfectly, and so that tribute is up there. But just make sure you get a good feel for the front and the back, because it's a total piece that I think is just magnificent. It's going to look wonderful positioned up in front of the trail, and will commemorate very well this beautiful development that's occurring out here. Again, thanks so much for everybody being here, and take a look at this, and then feel free to roam around a little bit here. Margaret?
I will say,
Yeah.
if you want to get a view and you don't want to walk through the mud, go through the red door, find your way to the hall and up the steps, and you'll be in the new classroom, and you can look out over that, and you don't have to go through the mud.
And then we'll have food and fellowship back down at the pavilion. And again, thanks so much.
It's on the back side.